Hello everybody, welcome back to the Limit of Adhesion. My name is Gareth and you are joining us for the final round of Season 6 Formula 3 and we are at the Circuit of the Americas. Joining me in the commentary box this time is Jules and Dom. How are you guys doing?
Very good, thank you. How are you,
Excellent
Gareth?
stuff.
How are you?
Excellent stuff. I'm alright, thank you. Yeah,
Good.
yeah. Fresh from being crowned Peeper of the Year by Pipping Tom magazine.
Living the dream.
For the third year running, yeah, it's all good. So, championship standings.
Yeah,
Tom.
Marin won, it's all over. But Chur isn't here, so I think Rob's not here. So Line could maybe pip Chur if he does well.
Well, we've got a small speck of excitement to look forward to then. And we can see further down Josh Kanamath in 6th place after a good result for him at Sonoma, picking up the podium. And a penalty for his troubles with taking out Messenger on the opening lap.
Yes, he was a bit naughty there.
He
But
was
he's
a
been
bit
punished.
Yeah. Championship standings for the teams then. Wizards Divination teams champions ahead of the A team and Wizards Evocation in 3rd. Alpha Esports are in 4th and Stupid Gary in 5th, ETM in 6th.
There's still actually a fight for this, for the Club 1500. Mark
Yes.
Innis and Erik Piussi are here. And Eric's currently holding the lead, but Mark has drops.
So no Martel tonight?
Yeah, it's still to play for here.
Question.
It's not
Fair. We're one Nico short of a nice three-way.
Yes, if you want to put it like that.
That's a shame.
And I don't think there's any Juan.
No! The race is ruined. Just call it off. Just red flag.
Skip between the back markers and Wizards Transmutation, though. Pretty close there.
Yeah, good to see. So this is presumably a battle for the title between those two teams then in this race?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the permutations are, just try and finish ahead of them.
Well, we wait to see what happens.
I think a quick
then.
shout out for Sam's contribution to QRS this season, getting them up to 3rd position. That's a strong season from Sam there.
Yeah, that 1 point made all the difference.
Yeah.
We jest.
So, a first visit for the LOA to the Circuit of the Americas, I do believe. And look at that, only 5 top split cars.
Only 2 seconds between first
On
and
duty.
second.
Yeah, David Lyon really crushing the competition there.
Tell me Marin Hugevin took his foot off the gas after winning the title without telling me that Marin Hugevin took his foot off the gas after winning the title there.
Yeah, indeed. Look at that, Nathan Parker ahead.
How come he doesn't get shouted at for that line?
Because I don't use it every 2 seconds.
Yeah. And a nice grid of clubbers, thankfully, to bulk up the field. And we've got Chris Forrester, the fastest of them, ahead of Dan Hill, Erik Piussi in 3rd, and Mark Innis in 4th. So
Perhaps we should pay drivers to show up to the last rounds, because they never are keen on racing the last rounds, are they?
It often goes quiet, doesn't it? So, David Lyon in pole, and Dan Hill, pole of the clubbers, and he's on the front row, ahead of Marin Hugevin. Erik Piussi in 4th, Chris Forrester in 5th, Mark Innis in 6th, Joe Barlow in 7th, James Pepper in 8th, and then we've got 9th is Winslade, 2nd of the top splitters, then 3rd of the top splitters, then Lewis McManaman, Stephen Koenig, Rich Meesters, Gavin Kelly, Nathan Parker, Jan Brewers and Chris White at the back. How nice to see Stephen Koenig returning to the LOA once again.
Phoenix.
After his yes, literally after his the fiery death of his old PC. Cars are forming up on the grid then.
Are we going to see a clubber on the overall podium, do you think, today?
I think there's a real chance of that. The drivers have been struggling around here. It's not an easy track, as we know, and the tyres tend to turn into cheese, as Dave described it, after only a few laps.
Now, cheesy tyres don't sound optimal.
No, they are a suboptimal tyre substance. Unless you're talking fondue.
They tend to attract the circuit mice.
Yeah.
That's the
Second
least
worst.
straight grid I've ever seen.
It is rather wonky, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, someone moved there. Right. Red lights are on. Get ready for racing action at the Circuit of the Americas. Green lights. We're racing. It's a great start by Merrin from third and Erik from
Fast
fourth.
start
Look
from
at that.
Dan.
Yeah.
Getting swamped on both sides.
So Dave safely round. Erik trying to go round the outside of everyone. And he's on the inside as he came through too. Merrin's up into second place though. Dan's fought back and recovered into first place of the clubbers and third overall.
Forrester's out. Looks like he got tagged round. He's in the pits.
That's a massive shame, yeah. And that's Gavin Kelly nearly into the back of James Pepper there.
Yeah, I saw Chris Forrester on sort of around the outside of Innis through the S's there, but then, yeah, like you say, he's disappeared now, showing us in the pits.
Yeah.
No, Innis is ahead of Piussi, so he's definitely in championship winning position at the moment.
Yeah, so we've got a nice little battle here between Innis and Hill as they come down the back straight.
Erik
Piussi just ahead.
was in front of Mark
of
going into the
Winslade.
hairpin there. What happened to Erik just there?
Yeah, I think he's had a bad few corners. Winslade's down the inside of him as well. So he's had a pretty decent start from quite far
Ninth,
down
I
the
think,
grid.
wasn't he?
Yeah, so he's now up to fifth overall, it looks like. Piussi's fighting him back. That's Joe Barlow just behind as well. Now we've got this super fiddly little corner before the flat-out blast around to the final couple of corners. Only a few tenths between Hill and Innis ahead. Winslade and Piussi very close together as well, coming up to the final corner.
Oh, too close.
Contact. Yeah, that's a shame. Erik's got going though. That's good. That's Stephen Koenig. Is it? No, that's Stephen Koenig. That was Piussi. Sorry. Yeah. Oh no, Winslade has towed. He's now in the pit lane.
Oh, it looked like a fairly innocuous
Big
tap, to
shame.
be fair. That's a shame if it's resulted in damage there for Winslade.
Yeah, we have to assume it has done as he is towed, and as you say, Forrester has towed as well. Whoa, the overspeed from Kelly there as he came down through the S's. Just looked like he was in a different planet, different type of car, the speed he was carrying compared to the cars around him. Oh, his teammate forcing Pepper off the road a little bit. What was your view on that move there by Parker?
Looked a bit impatient.
Yeah, I'd like to see it again, to be honest. It was sort of just coming in from the side of the screen, wasn't it? So I didn't get a good view of it. But, yeah, like another view if we get one. Did notice at the start of the race when we were going through the championship standings there that Nath has already wrapped up the Battle of the Parkers.
Oh, no.
Although it's worth pointing out that any
we've
penalties
got
accrued in
Parker.
this round will be a points penalty for this one, since it is the last round, so he's got to keep it clean for the last race at least.
Yeah, very good point, actually, yeah. Koenig being slightly bullied here by the studio. Oh. Now, you were saying Nathan was being
God, it's
impatient
Road
with
Outlander all
James
over
there.
again.
Yeah.
Leave him alone, he's just a boy. He's already dead.
It's like he's dragging. He was playing with him. That was weird.
How's that car still
Horrible.
working?
Yeah. So, welcome back to the LOA, Stephen Koenig. You've just been royally hazed. And the start of the race on board with Koenig. Oh, it was him who
Yeah,
got the
you
jump
glimpsed it,
start
didn't
then.
you?
It's such a shame. Yeah.
Oof.
And here's, the replay. Just way too impatient into the corner. Picks up the unfortunate Stephen and then decides to throw him around a bit like a rag doll.
Like a dog with a bone.
He was. Here's Chris White then. Currently running 7th place in the Clubbers. And Erik Piussi now in 4th place in the split. So he's behind Joe Barlow now, obviously, after that collision with Winslow. So we'll wait to see if Erik can get back after both Joe and then Mark Innis ahead, who is his championship rival.
Surprised that Merrin's hanging on to line given the practice pace.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. And it'd be interesting because if Dave wins this, that will be the first non-Wizard win this season, which is incredible. Right. That's just mental, isn't it?
It is a bit, yeah.
So here's Jannem and Pruis. Stephen Koenig's team heat together, teammate. Nice to see both of them in a race once again, though. It's been a long time. Ooh. I had nothing to do with that.
Why don't we just start talking about the drivers that aren't on track and then we can't cause anything else to go wrong?
Yeah. That's Rich Meesters then chasing him down. See if he can line up a move. Oh, James Pepper having a little adventure there. That's a very easy corner to spin it on, isn't it? Jules, you've had experience around this track in this car. Don't know if you ever have driven it, Dom.
I have not. No, I don't own it, actually.
Merrin is right now on the tail of line. Looks like Koenig held him up there.
Yeah. He nearly had a little cheeky run for it. Oh, he's getting a good run here. So come through.
Yeah, of course, Merrin sat behind Dave at Sonoma until a mistake got him past, and then he just vanished.
Yeah, and it was a great move through turns 3A and 3B, even though Dave did make a small error, as you say, but the way Merrin took the lead was very impressive indeed. There's a replay then, on board with Dave as we come through T1, Koenig coming out of the pit lane, just...
this is...
He's trying to stay out of the way, isn't he? But he's going to be in the wrong place now. You just got to brake. You've got to brake, Steve.
Yeah, that increased in awkwardness the longer that it's still... Oh, God.
And those, they're not big sausage curves, but those little yellow corner markers will break your car and your suspension if you touch them. Right. Absolutely lethal.
I've been keeping...
That was a bit of a present.
Yeah, I've been keeping half an eye on these lap times just before we cut to these guys. Merrin was just outside a second, and then after we saw him, there's at 0.2, so a big gift for
his hair, really, isn't it? He just didn't know what he was going to do.
No. But Dave was very lucky not to hit that one there on the right-hand side.
I think the A-team have used up all their bad luck earlier in the season. They've had a few adventures.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's more that Dave's just used up all their good luck over the previous few seasons. Now it's all coming back. Look at that personal best for Kelly there, 2.00000. I do love a nice round number. Oh, on board with Lewis McManaman there, nearly into the back of Chris White through T1. That was all a bit too close and frantic. And Pruis on the back of him. Got a nice battle shaping up here, actually, haven't we, guys?
Yeah, 4-bay battle here for 5th place.
And I'm keeping an eye on our championship rivals, and Dan Hill has opened up a sizable gap on Mark Innis, and but Erik is closing in, and he's got the fastest lap of the clubbers, look at 1:59.2. He's closing in on Joe Barlow, and he needs to get through him in a hurry so he can get after Mark Innis, who is the slowest of that top 4 at the moment.
The trouble for Erik is even if he gets ahead of Innis, he needs people to then finish between them.
So, do you think he might try a little a wheel tap and just try and punt him off as he overtakes him. I don't know.
Or maybe slow down in his face and try and get others to catch
Delayed
him.
throttle application.
Yeah. Oh, what's...
I mean, basically, you just got to go as fast as you can and try and win it, and then hope that your rival runs into some issues, I guess, at this stage.
Yeah.
Marin is right up close with Dave again. What happened
He
there?
is. And Chris Forrester back out on track and setting the fastest lap full at the Club 1500. It's been a bit of an unfortunate season for Mr. Forrester, hasn't it? He's certainly had the pace at times, but just...
Well, last round he was super fast in the clubs, but unfortunately a bit erratic. So.
Yeah, I think he had 3-4 incidents, wasn't it? Something like that.
Oh god, there were so many incidents from everybody. There was like 2 disqualifications, wasn't there? At least.
Yes. One of them was Chris, I think. Yeah, certainly Dean Perry. Sadly not in this race, but yeah, Dean got a DQ at Sonoma. Too many incident points.
It's like Dave's just had a couple of bad laps. He needs to get it back together and get his head straight.
Yeah, because I mean, when Dave is in the lead, normally he normally can get his head down and just grind those hot lap times and do some crazy fast speeds. But wow, Merrin, look at this. As he come down the back straight, but he's not quite near enough to make an attack. Do you get the sense it's coming though?
I mean,
he wants that record, but and he's got nothing to lose really. If he crashes, he's still got the title.
up until when Line got caught by Koenig there, Hoogerven was probably slowly dropping back and back. It's almost like that little gift has just re-incentivized him a little bit. Given the season that we've had, I feel like it would be foolish as we see one of the heap together. That must be Koenig, is it? Around on the off track there.
Track, yeah, as Pruis gets by McLaren.
After the season that we've had, you can't really bet against Merrin at this point, I don't think. He's clearly come into this one less prepared than the previous races, but even then he's still sticking it to Dave.
Yeah. And we were saying in the Sonoma broadcast, Jules, we always thought that Merrin had this kind of potential in him when he joined the season back in Formula Renault 2.0, but to see it finally coming true is just quite incredible, isn't it?
Absolutely. But be interested to see how it goes in the Lotus 79.
And interested to see if he puts the same sort of levels of commitment into it, like, the rumour is he did 600 laps for Rutschkogen early in the season. And didn't win, of course, which would be infuriating.
He says he's not going to, but we'll see what happens when the season starts. Are you looking forward to the Lotus 79?
I am, yeah. I do like it, yeah.
And I definitely am, yeah. It would be, I think, good to mix it up a little bit. A new car.
Have you
I've done it a few times in testing, yeah. I can't say I know the car, if that makes sense. Like, it's only been a few laps to say.
No, I don't, yeah.
A lot of the cars that I do in testing, I give them a few laps and say, first of all, is this fun? And second of all, is there any participation? And I think I looked at the Lotus a few seasons ago and the participation just wasn't there, but obviously, if the league is going to be running it, then it'd be foolish not to buy the car to at least have some grasp of knowledge when we're talking about them next season.
Yes, yeah. It's because, it's a ground effect car. I was talking to Dan Shaw about this. It's that level of the faster you go, the more grip it has. Wow, Rich Meester's great move there. Passing Pruis for 7th in the Clovers. The faster you go, the more grip you have because of the ground effect. But it's a bit of a difficult concept, and it reminded me of the blown exhaust Red Bulls that Vettel used to such dominating effect back in the day. And then Dan told me that he was about 4 when that happened, which made me feel very old because that felt like recent F1 to me. Oh dear me.
Spate of youngsters take. I've just been in a dirt oval race, and it seems that every time I'm in the dirt oval race, there's always someone comes on voice comms who sounds like they're about 13 years old, and they're also twice the rating that I am. And it hurts every time.
Yeah, but we have jobs and lives, and Yeah. How was
It
your
was
honeymoon?
fantastic, thank you. Warm, relaxed, and warm and relaxed. I can't tell you too much about it because we did nothing.
Did you not do any sightseeing? Corfu's
Went
a
into town
beautiful
for one
place.
day, but it was, we feel like we'd earned a rest by this point.
Is that why you were on Discord so much?
Because relaxing by the pool does have its limit for sparking the mind, Great ideas were made around that pool.
Yeah.
Oh, the element's gone.
Oh, Prost is round.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh!
wrong way.
That's a big shake. Oh, he's got a crunched it. Oh, that's
Sorry,
big
there's
shake.
a bunch of frogs in my throat.
That's okay. So, fast lap for Line in top split, and fast lap for Forrester in Club 1500. Such a shame for Chris.
where's Merrin gone?
I'm guessing he's made a mistake because he's dropped about 3 seconds back.
See it down the bottom. There's one lap where he's lost 2.98 seconds.
Line's really found his form this race, hasn't he? I mean, like you say, he's had a season where he's been a bit off the boil compared to what is. I mean, his standards are pretty stellar.
Well, I mean, he's reigning champ, is he not, coming into the season?
Yeah.
I think it's just the amount of practice that the people around him have put in this time around,
He has been very busy with work though as well. And I thought James Pepper was going to drop it there, but well held, that boy. Dave. I know Dave's been incredibly busy with work and stuff, but I mean, he does. That's his relaxing time is practicing for the races and doing our league races. He's. It's just just doesn't seem to have been a Dave season in the way that some of the others have, as we see Prost coming in to serve his drive-through, continuing the incidents. Oh, Winslade off the road there. Gets it back going.
I thought he was about to immediately drive back off the track, then it looked like he was understeering towards that runoff there.
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
Yeah.
for Dave, I always, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I always feel like Dave has, not needed to do masses and masses of practice to be up there at the front. Sort of same was with the riskies. But when suddenly you're competing against guys that are putting in hundreds of laps for a race, if you're still doing just the same amount of prep, then it's going to make you look like suddenly you're slow. That makes sense?
Yes, no, it does, yeah. But I mean, I know Dave puts in, he does a couple of hours stints, I guess, to practice at least. So, I mean, that's a fair few laps, you'd have to say. But
I mean, I guess this race is a really good representation. I mean, I know we've not got as many top splitters on this, but, Pit Lane Report says that Merrin hasn't put really any practice into this race, and look at the gap that's between them. Whereas Dave has probably done his normal amount, and is, about to be 4 seconds up the road. So I don't think it's necessarily that Dave's had a bad season. I just think it's that someone in the field decided they wanted a title, and someone else thought, nah, I want that title instead, and then, it's sort of escalated from there.
yeah, it's so nice to see Merrin getting that title, and
Jules, you can wait until the main straight. I'll let you buy that, mate. Copy.
Clear and concise, just how we like it.
letting Jules know. Yep. So I was saying, yeah, it's I'm so delighted for Merrin to finally get that title though, because I felt he has felt, hasn't he, like something was missing and that he should be further up the field. But to see the transformation from last season to this has just been incredible. But part of me does feel like that kind of, I mean, can you imagine the fairy tale ending if Tora got the title?
Wouldn't have begrudged us from getting it either. It was a shame how it ended last race, but that sometimes happens.
It does, yeah. But
Watch out for Erik.
Eric's
So-
trying to follow Kelly
Yeah,
here
this has
through.
got spicy in the Club 1500.
Yeah, so Erik has got past Joe Barlow. Last time we really checked in on it, and I do apologise to Erik, I haven't been monitoring it for a while. He was 2 seconds behind Joe, and he's now a long way ahead.
Honestly, last time I corrected it, oh, my word, English is hard for me at the moment. Last time I clocked it on Erik was going to the back of Winslade, so...
Oh yeah, well since then he was tracking Joe Barlow, and he was setting the fastest lap in the Clovers until Chris took that fastest lap away from him. But then he has passed Joe, reeled in Mark, and looks like he's setting up for the move. You had to say that move feels like it's coming soon.
Maybe a better tyre management from Erik through the race, maybe?
Yeah, and they've got a long way to go though. Dan Hill, who is still yet to win a Club 1500 race, and I do not know how that is possible because that man is so fast in the field in Clovers, but he's had such terrible bad luck. We think back to Rudskogen and Road Atlanta last season. Oh, just all sorts of races where it's not quite worked for him. And but here he is with a 9-second lead and a fabulous chance of finally getting that maiden win. So fingers crossed for him.
Oh, God, big slide for Erik. Yeah, I feel like Dan's name was sort of last season when it was me and Ollie doing the comms for the full season. Dan's name was the name to beat, you know, like it was always up there, but just, yeah, never got the
Thanks,
win.
mate.
It's just astounding.
Yeah, but then, well, don't forget last season though, he was going up against like Tourmalar and Winslade, who were still in Clovers. But I think that's why it would have been the fairy tale though, with Tour, you know, going back to Club 1500 to clear his head and sort things out, and he stomped the season. Then he went back up to top split for the final 2 races, took a podium, Road Atlanta, and then he's jumped up into top split this season, and it's been Nathan Parker, who's already got a drive-through penalty, and he's just had an incident with Chris White there. Oh, and he's towed.
That's a wonky wheel.
Yeah, that's a wonky wheel.
2 toe jobs then.
Yeah. Don't you like that rules?
At least he got them both out of the way.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
drive through for Lewis McManaman. That's a shame. Yeah, so that's why I say it would have been a fairy tale if Tour had taken this title. But even then, to go from Club 1500 champion to second place in top split overall, I mean that's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Did
no,
a
it
great
does
job.
absolutely. Does that show that Joe was in the wrong split all along?
No, I think he needed it. I think he needed that drop down and reset because his mind was all over the place. If you go back to season 4, he was really struggling with the Formula 3 in his driving, and he was just having a lot of unnecessary accidents. So I think he needed that reset for season 5.
Fair. And I think going into the sort of the second of the 2 splits, because like the people in the top split he raced wheel to wheel with quite frequently, right? But then to not be considered in the same kind of class as them, just, you know, I think it sort of made him double down, doubly concentrate, stop making the silly mistakes. Because it was the crashes, wasn't it, as much as anything?
Yeah. Yes, it was.
And
yeah.
I don't think we've seen any from him this season, other than Sonoma. But that was a different kettle of fish. Right?
No, we saw no. Yeah, Fuji made Fuji's the only one where I can think where he's made proper errors.
Yeah, but they were.
I feel Merrin got into his head.
Like Fuji was death by sausage.
When he realised that Merrin was fuel saving.
Yes, no, you're right. Because we heard him on the radio and he realised that Merrin was fuel saving. But it's funny because it was Merrin doing what Tour had just done to him at Rudskogen the race before.
Getting pretty close here between these two.
It's getting very spicy, isn't it?
Mark had caught Kelly back up again, but he's got a gap again.
I wonder if Eric's a bit unnerved after nerfing Winslade earlier. Or maybe he thinks Winslade broke it a little bit earlier. I don't know, obviously. I am not Erik, but certainly getting right up in his rear end here.
Yeah, I think he's cleared that out of his mind, as he should, and he's just focusing on this battle right now, which is for second place in Club 1500.
Is it?
What I could do with seeing an overall chart
Yeah.
here, because the
Is it whoever wins between these two wins the title, or is it a bit more daylight between them?
No, Piussi needs to be ahead of Mark and needs some people between
Right.
the two of them. Simply because Mark's got 2 drops and I think Eric's scored in every round so far, so he's not going to be scoring 4 points.
Yeah. So we are halfway through this race, and if Erik Piussi wants to win the title, he really needs to get ahead of downhill and probably hope for that Mark has a little error. Oh, DQ for Yanniman Pruis. Big shame for him to end his season like that. Yeah, we kind of really need, he needs Joe Barlow to then be ahead of Mark as well. So you'd have to say that his hopes are slipping away, because downhill has, that's 2 seconds since we last talked about the gap. He's creeping away at the front there.
Still got the pit stops to do. Anything
And
can happen.
And he did start on the front row of this race, outright, did downhill. It's a storming effort. I mean, we say he's been fast. He's had some great quali laps in the past. And but yeah, outright front row is phenomenal, and he is currently running 3rd overall in this race, ahead of former top split champion Gavin Kelly, ahead of Winslade, ahead of Parker.
Oh!
Yeah, great effort. And what's Kelly done? Oh my God!
Go on, say it, Dom.
Tell me you've not practiced
Drive-through
that pit
penalty
entry
as well.
without telling me you've not practiced that pit entry and a penalty to go with it. That is a nightmare.
Yeah, we just saw there, Erik Piussi was shaping up a move on Mark Innis as they headed down into turn
Tyre
1.
change.
Oh, Kelly's changing tyres.
Eric is giving Mark too much respect there. He's looking, but he's not going for it.
Yeah.
No.
He needs to send it.
Barlow's hanging on to them.
Well,
now.
I almost feel like Innis is starting to hold them all up a little bit, to be honest.
Kelly's not left the pitch yet.
He's called it a day. Here's what happened to Parker and Forrest. Oh, he just drove into the back of him, didn't he?
This has not been a vintage day for Nathan Parker. There's at least 3
Superior
incidents now.
Parker, question mark? Oh, he just got caught out in the middle of the S's.
Should we call him Nathan Cagoule now? Demoted from Parker status.
Especially with that flick speed. Oh no. Kelly.
Oh, Kelly doing all
All
the
the
messenger
messenger, yeah.
moments there. See.
Just where I was going with my train of thought.
We need a little jingle. Messenger moment of the week.
Did any of you see
Let's get the rest
the
to record it.
V8s at
Yeah.
Bathurst this season, a couple of weeks ago?
I'm afraid
Yeah.
I
They
did not.
had the wettest weekend, and half the grid must have clean bowled the pit entry, messenger style. Between the grid of, the best people in the country to race them cars, they made it look like they'd never done it before. It was a mess. There was a Toyota 86 ended
Makes
up
me feel
in the
better.
gravel upside. Oh, it was carnage. Absolute carnage.
Amazing. New fastest lap in the club was for Dan Hill there at 1:58, compared to 2 minutes for everyone else in the field. He's making him look a bit silly here, isn't he?
You're not going to let him stay in Club 1500 then?
I am actually, because I don't think he's the amount of mistakes he's making still. And this
He's
is
not making any in this race.
No, he's not. But one. What is it? They say one swallow does not a summer make. And I think he will need that win to get his confidence elevated, because I imagine that was probably stressing him out somewhat.
Oh, surely Eric's got a chance.
Drive through for Chris White.
Is he running more wing? He doesn't seem to be able to get the move done.
He is running a lot of wing, isn't he? I mean, Mark is very good at placing the car where he needs it to be.
It's not as if it's a narrow track, though, is it?
Oh, it's a double! CC Racing drive-through penalty then. Chris White and Chris Forrester both getting drive-throughs in the space of a lap.
And this must be all off tracks then, because we're not seeing Chris White have any contact, have we? It was Forrester that...
No, Chris White was the one who got tangled with with Nathan Kagul.
Oh, I thought that was Forrester. That's my mistake.
And no, Chris Forrester was the one who he speared off the track early doors in the opening exchanges through the S's.
So presumably a couple of 4s there then, but the rest of the off tracks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hugavin. Too early to be doing donuts now, Merrin.
Well,
We've got to finish the race first.
That was nearly the leader.
Yeah. Well, look, a replay then from Dan Hill.
Oh,
jeez.
God, he must have been. We were just talking about how this is his golden opportunity for the maiden win, and he nearly had it taken away from him by Merrin of all people. That's just astonishing, isn't it? Look at Joe Barlow just hanging on here, and you know, I think you're right there, Jules, that Mark is holding these guys up because Joe had lost a couple of seconds to Erik, and he's now right on the hunt here.
yeah, they've dropped back into the 201s, 202s, so the fighting is slowing
The
down.
understeer through there looks horrendous.
Yeah, the F3
Oh.
doesn't feel good around here, does it? Here he goes then into the tight hairpinny. It's not quite a hairpin, is it? The corner to open up the back straight.
Erik sort of
Mark's got a
Didn't get
better
any
race.
drive off, did he?
No.
Erik sort of showed the nose, and then Mark starts to cover, but did enough to stay in front there.
Get ready in the braking zone there. Here they go. Mark done very well there to come out comfortably in the lead.
I think you're right though. I think Eric's just been far too respectful, and you know I know he is as a driver.
Yes, it's
He's
the
a
last
really
race.
Clean, respectful driver. But I also know that if Erik sends it somewhere, Mark will probably just open the door. Like Mark isn't going to defend in a way that's going to, like a. It was at this very track in the F1, in fact, wasn't it? Well, the last second defence from, was it Stroll? Sent Alonso into an aeroplane? It's not going to be a
that's
super
true,
aggressive
yes.
defence from Innis. He'll see him coming, and if it's on, then he'll let him have it. But I think Erik needs to send it.
You'd hope that, but then I saw Dave doing some questionable things at the weekend in the GT3, which I didn't expect from Dave.
I think Dave's probably a bit fed up that he's. Well, I mean, he spun out of the lead from P1 in Hock, didn't he?
He's had a few poles this season, hasn't he?
But
In
not
various things,
converted.
and Not
Yeah.
converted.
So he's probably got to a point where he's like, right, enough's enough. We'll start here at Kota.
Oh, you can tell Winslow's struggling. He can't even get past Lewis McManaman.
Put him back in the club.
No, yeah, no disrespect to Lewis there, but I mean, yeah, it's top split versus Club 1500 going on here. It's all topsy-turvy in this race, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of a breathing space again for Mark. See if Erik can reel him back in again. 9 laps to go.
It's getting to the time in the season as well where the real-life F1 is racing at the other side of the world, so the races are around about LOA race time. So I wonder how many of the drivers are watching a race whilst racing. Maybe that might answer a few a few pace questions.
Might answer why Kelly decided to just call it a day after his penalty.
Yes, maybe so. "25 seconds then."
Oh!
Oh
He's
my
done an even
goodness.
better job of it than Kelly did.
Ripped the wheel off. And he's got a drive through.
There's one in the background. There's oh my god.
Erik Piussi, we did not want to see that after his, what an attacking drive he's been putting in for all those laps, and then to lose it on the pit entry.
Well, that's taking the pressure off Innis at least.
Well, more to the point, it's taken the pressure off downhill entirely, really. I mean, he's already got 13-second gap over Innis, so he's been pulling away from him. Here's Merrin now, back out on track with Erik now ahead of him. Replay time.
You can see the tracks there from Jules.
Wasn't even close to making it.
And then, oh,
At least Erik got it stopped in time.
I think Merrin came out of that the worst, didn't he? From the
Yep.
three of them. So Dave just needs to avoid doing that now. And obviously Mark and Dan.
Just saw someone else getting another penalty.
That
We
was
didn't see who
Koenig,
that
just
was.
as we cut back from replay.
Koenig. I thought it was. I just didn't want to say it was. Say it with confidence if you don't quite catch it. Meanwhile, David Lyne unflappably carrying on. What's going on here? Nathan Parker.
Leave him alone, Nathan. You've killed enough.
He will kill again. He's got a real bloodlust going on, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, there's only 5 people in his split, and one of them is retired. Do you think he can catch Winslade? I'm not sure what the gaps are at the moment.
It was a lap a minute ago.
So jeez. Was he in a few incidents last race, Sonoma? I remember he dropped it.
He
On his
was in a couple, I think, yeah. He's had a bit of a wild end to the season, if I must be honest.
It's Merrin's drive-through.
This is such a bizarre sight after the dominance that we've seen from Merrin and Tour this season. To see,
I think it's what happens when you take your foot off the gas because you've been full throttle all that time and relief at winning. He's probably not been on his rig all week. Or even 2 weeks, because there's 2 weeks between the races.
True, yeah. Probably just been very, very drunk.
Probably making up to his wife, paying her some attention.
Yeah, he's probably said, let's go karting all week. Here's downhill then.
I was going to say, not seen much of this guy.
No, apart
Given
from when
his
he was
dominance.
avoiding Merrin, funnily enough. So he's now in second place overall in the race then, isn't he?
Yep.
Because he hasn't ballsed up, unlike everyone else. Well, Mark hasn't ballsed up, but Mark is, 12 seconds back from him. So,
Hang on, Parker's now jumped Winslade. Why is Winslade now 2 laps down and Parker only 1?
Has Winslade had an off again?
don't know. Yeah, must have done. To wait and see. Lap 20 of 26. Oh, Wednesday back ahead again.
Did Parker just toe? No, he's still lapping. He's just gone through the hairpin. Weird.
Overlay's doing
Yes.
overlay things. Although Winslade is off the track there and out.
Is he blinking maybe? Let's find out.
Don't know.
This is either
To wait and
a
see.
long
Wednesday-
blink or he's gone.
It looks like he's gone. Oh, he got a drive-through penalty and he's quit. Oh. There's someone who got fed up with it. Round he goes.
Oh,
Hits the fence. And he's gone. He'd already had a quick repair after the incident with Erik on the opening lap. So he's out.
now I know that
Yeah, dropping
Winslade
like flies.
loves these cars, and that's probably not the way he'd want to send a farewell to this series.
No, you're right. Yeah. Really not. Meanwhile, David Lyne serenely continues.
He could lap the field at this point. Aside from Hill.
Yeah, so where is Hill in relation to Dave on track? Oh, there he is. So coming up to the final couple of corners.
Yeah, last couple of corners.
So Lyne's got, he's got a sizable gap on Hill.
Well, I mean, he could almost lap top split at least. His
Yes.
Club 1500 are performing better.
Well, he's oh, Dyson with death there a little bit with those orange curves.
He was, yeah.
5 laps to go. And this very, very bizarre race. Joe Barlow into for his scheduled stop. And he's having a good race. Oh, and a DQ for Chris White.
Got Nathan in the pits there.
Nathan says is out.
The director frantically scrolling through cars to try and find someone who's actually circulating. Oh dear me.
Nathan Parker out of this race and he's been disqualified. So he's been DQ'd. Winslade gave up on it after getting a drive-through. Kelly gave up on it after his drive-through and hitting the pit wall.
Clubber podium confirmed.
White's been disqualified.
White's been disqualified with too many instant points. Pruis
And
is out.
Pruis.
And Pepper is out as well. I don't remember seeing why he stopped, but he's now out of the race as well.
Oh, Dave's into the pits.
On 4 wheels, we wait to see.
We hope.
Cheers, Stephen.
He is
Yeah,
on
that's
4
good.
wheels.
Hooray!
Yay!
No problem, bud.
He's probably got enough time in Andy that he can just pull over after he crosses the white flag, for the white flag lap and just tow, and it still will get him back to the finish line in time.
He's over a minute ahead, yeah. It's bizarre and entertaining, but I don't like it. It's not right.
He still came out ahead of Hill.
Astonishing. And Hill now has a 22. What's going on here with the gap? The gap is up and down with
About
between
12 seconds.
Dan and Mark. It was just suddenly went up to 25 or something. I was just something's gone wrong there with the timing tower.
Oh,
Seems to have sorted itself out now. Whoa, Stephen! And here comes Dave behind him, so he needs to be careful here. And he's already had the drive-through, hasn't he? So lets Dave through nicely. Good job there, Mr. Koenig. Personal best from Merrin. Too little, too late, maybe.
Somewhat, yeah. Only 55 seconds to make up.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, the close battle is Piussi and Barlow.
Dan can see Dave on track here, although
Yes,
he hasn't
Dan has
yet
to
to
pit.
stop. Yeah. Still, what an effort so far. He had that scare trying to avoid Merrin earlier, but apart from that, it's all going very well. And let's just hope he doesn't have any incidents between now and the flag.
Barlow's just gone past Piussi. Looks like there's a mistake because he's now a couple of seconds behind him.
Hopefully we can get a replay of that then. See what happened.
You can hope. Down in the pits. Did he make it safe? He did.
He did, yay!
Everyone that makes it gets a yay. So is Mark going to follow him in? Yes, he is.
Yeah. And here he is. And
Yay!
he's on 4 wheels. Yay! Dom, No, yay.
Yay!
I think he's gone to sleep.
Sorry, who's winning? What's going on? Oh
We're
yeah,
at Kota.
Toaster.
And is Kota going to be in silly season, Dom?
It is a paid track, so no, because perhaps against my better judgments, we're keeping it all to free content again. But I think that's limiting.
At least 16 drivers own it.
Well, yeah, that's true. After tonight, do you think
But Dom is
16
one of
drivers would want to turn up for this one?
Oh.
As Swizzy can, that's a DQ. In that. So I thought we'd seen his name already.
That's the DQ. Yeah. Done. Another
I
one
feel
bites
that-
the dust.
They are coming cropper of the incident limit more at the end of the season than they did at the start. You would have hoped that they would have got better.
I think the tracks have got harder though, haven't
But this track is so wide.
they? It is wide, but it's really difficult.
I don't know why this track isn't used more by iRacing.
Because it's horrible.
It's a good track. I like it. I didn't even know it was
Is
on the
it
service.
horrible because it's hard, though?
I think it's fun.
It looks like a fun, challenging track. Yeah.
I don't like it actually.
Good
I mean, I felt like I started to like it, then I started to hate it again. I did a race in the Formula Renault recently in it, and survived. I think I P4 in that. But it just, I don't know. The corners just feel they're really weird angles, and it just sort of like this bit here is just doesn't feel right in a really weird way. And like when you watch an F1 car go through here, I mean it's poetry. It's beautiful. It's incredible the movement of the cars and the way they take the corners. But in anything other than an F1 car, this track just feels weird. Like that corner is so slow, and the final corner is second gear in the Formula 3. And yet when you see an F1 car go around it, it doesn't look like that at all. But that's my
we all
judgment.
have our favourites, you know.
Yeah.
It's one of my
Yeah, I mean,
favourites.
I don't like how flat it is. It's a bit car parky. But other than, like I said, I don't own it, so I've not driven it. But it always looks to me, it looks
It's
appealing.
not car parky at all. Look at the
Yeah,
elevation
in T1,
change
and then
there.
it's like they ran out of dirt to make any more mounds. There's a little bit here, right?
No. It's still changing. So you're going downhill all the way through here,
But then,
and then
especially
when
the
you get-
section where you said like it just felt weird. I was looking at it, I was just like, yeah, it's just sort of like the Phoenix at car park, the car park at Phoenix. I mean.
Yeah, no. But look here. You're going over a crest here as well, and then you drop down to this hairpin. This is all downhill.
You're starting to make it sound like you like this track.
No. It's just. I mean, I'll defend it for what it is. But I mean,
I've got a special surprise for you all. For the final round, coming in late to the party, Ollie Bear.
Kota.
Ollie Bear's here.
Hello. I didn't get an invite. I'm here now. Hello.
He's been polishing Martin Brundle's shoes.
Uh,
And here he is.
Are you talking in a flat stairwell or something?
No,
Okay, because
that's what it sounds like. It sounds like I'm underwater. There we go. Is that better?
No, but it's okay.
No. Oh, whoops. Don't know what's going on. Not set up is the answer to that one.
Who's your money on for this race win, Ollie?
Who's my money on coming in late? Or it must be David Lyne and Dan Hill.
And which part of the gap between the drivers makes you think that?
55-second gap between first and second in top split, and a 12.5-second gap in Club 1500 is the answer to that one.
And what do you think of Kota as a track?
Awful. The off tracks are ridiculous. It's a rubbish track, boring, no fun. The Grand Prix summed it up. It was awful. Simple as that.
Poor Eric. I say poor Gareth. He's got to try and slot your audio in.
If there's anyone who can.
Yeah. Ollie can.
He was already grumping about the fact he'd have to do it, and now he's got to try and find the bit where Ollie shows up. And make it sound like we're talking to him.
A worthwhile endeavour for the last race of the season, I think.
Well, it's definitely all over now, isn't it?
All over by the shouting.
Lap 25 or 26.
Anyway, to continue our bicker. So, it looks rather flat, but other than that, it sort of has always reminded me of like a Silverstone, but Murica-ified.
It's got corners like Turkey. I like the first corner. It's so wide. There's so many.
Well, isn't that the
lines
thing with
into
Kota?
it.
Didn't they purposely take some of the favourite corners from around the world and glued it? Like
Probably,
the S's
yeah.
are resembled
Yeah, they
off
did.
Maggots
They did.
Beckett's, aren't
It's
they?
got the S's, which are fun. Yeah, they're like Suzuka and.
White flag.
Yeah, now you've got your overall look. So, second overall, Dan Hill. Third overall, Mark Innis.
Incredible, really.
2 top split.
Yeah, 2 top split running. 3 retirements. Here comes Dan Hill to start his final lap.
I kind of hope for their sake that the drivers have been keeping half an eye on some real racing. Because looking at the track map and how spaced out they are, no one likes hot lapping, do they? Do they?
A lot of people don't. I'm not particularly fond of it.
I distinctly remember needing to do a time trial for some NASCAR stuff, and so I inverse bound my accelerator pedal so that when I didn't have my foot on it, it accelerated, and when I depressed the pedal, it would do the opposite. And so went to somewhere like Talladega, took my hands and feet off everything pretty much, and yeah, watched some racing in the background while I time trialed my way around.
Good stuff.
Just robbing.
Yeah, just Chastaining it, exactly.
Dave's going to park up at the start-finish line and wait,
If I was him,
like Mr. Greeny
Yeah.
did the other night.
I'd loop it across the line on purpose if I was him. Well, depending on how many incidents it's got, of course.
Yeah, Dave's too much for the pro then. Here he comes then through the final corner for the final
He's got his
time.
win.
It's David Lyne winning the final race of Formula 3 Season 6 and the final Formula 3 race for the LOA for the time being.
And gets the fastest lap as well on
Yeah.
the last lap. Job done.
Job done indeed. And he denies the Wizards a full 8 out of 8 wins.
Well done, Dave. Well done, Dan. Well done, Mark.
Here comes Dan Hill then to finally get his maiden
Hang on, still got 2
1500
corners
win.
left. I might pin it. Come on, mate.
He's done it.
Well done, guys. Awesome one. Unfortunately, I was disqualified, but well done to everyone else.
You weren't the only one, Steve.
And Mark Innis over the line for P3 overall and P2 in Club 1500. Dan Hill though, I mean, that's a great drive from him.
Pending any penalties, that's the title for Mark.
Yep. I didn't see
No.
him involved in anything, so I'm sure it's fine. Although that's not the best donuts in the world, maybe we won't give it him because of that.
Well, who's your driver of the day?
Give it to Dan Hill.
It's
gotta
definitely
be
not
Dan
David
Hill.
Lyne.
Dan Hill all the way, yeah. I mean, Dave did drive an amazing race, but Dan Hill for his maiden win has to be my driver of the
He's
day.
definitely got pace to get kicked up to top split, but I think it'll be, one of those where it'll be nice to keep him in Club 1500.
He needs to get some more wins under his belt and get that sorted out. So David Lyne wins in top split from Merrin Hugavin, Winslade in third, Nathan Parker in fourth, and Gavin Kelly in fifth. And in Club 1500, it's Dan Hill taking his first victory in the final race of Formula 3 ahead of Mark
Are you sure
Innis,
about that?
Joe Barlow. Yes. Eric Piussi down in fourth after his drive through, Rich Meesters in fifth, Lewis McManaman in sixth, then Chris Forrester, Stephen Kernick, Chris White, Yannaman Pruss and James Pepper. So everyone from seventh downward DQ'd or failed to finish there. And only two of the top split finishing as well. Quite a ridiculous race there.
Dave's done it.
Dave's done it. Has jumped Tourmalin for second place overall in the championship. And all he cares about is the postage costs to send the trophy to the Netherlands.
I'm surprised, given that he knows nothing about money.
Yeah, but he's got a wife he cares to. So, championship standings in the clubbers then. Wizards Divination on top. That's top split. So, yeah, Wizards Divination on top. The A-team in second. Stupid Gary up to third.
Yeah, stealing third place there at the end.
Yeah, beating Wizards Divination, Alpha Esports and the ETM in sixth place. And in the Club 1500 Championship, Mark Innis takes the title. Congratulations to Mark. Erik Piussi in second. Dan Hill up to third at the close. Nico Martel in fourth and Joe Barlow in fifth. Roberto Costa in sixth. Dean Perry in seventh. Dan Shaw in eighth. Chris Forrester in ninth. Rich Meesters in 10th. Let's take a look at that team standings then in the clubbers. The clubbers. It's the backmarkers on top. Congratulations to Dan and Joe on that title. Wizards Transmutation in second. QRS in third. Congratulations to Eric on a storming 234 points and Sam on 1 point. Blast Off Racing in fourth. Wizards Illusion in fifth. CC Racing in sixth and DJ Simsport in seventh. Well, guys, it's been an amazing season, and when we come back after our winter break, we're going to be in the Lotus 79, which we cannot wait for. And I just want to thank everyone, drivers, commentators, video makers, everyone who's been involved in putting these together over the season. And don't forget to come and find us at limitedadhesion.com and all the rest. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the videos. Jules and Dom, thanks so much. See you next time.
Bye bye.